This LOS is explain how a short-run macroeconomic equilibrium may occur at a level above or below full employment. Shifts in aggregate demand and supply. The business cycle and short-term fluctuations in GDP are caused by shifts in aggregate demand and aggregate supply. When the level of GDP in the economy is below potential GDP, such a recessionary situation exerts downward pressure on the aggregate price level. When the level of GDP is above potential GDP, such an overheated situation puts upward pressure on the aggregate price level. Stagflation, a combination of high inflation and weak economic growth, is caused by a decline in short-run aggregate supply. The sustainable rate of economic growth is measured by the rate of increase in the economy's productive capacity or potential GDP. It is important to understand that short-run macroeconomic equilibrium may occur at a level above or below full employment. We consider four possible types of macroeconomic equilibrium. One is long-run full employment, 2, short-run recessionary gap, 3, short-run inflationary gap, and 4, short-run stagflation. The business cycle and the resulting fluctuations in real GDP are caused by shifts in the aggregate demand and aggregate supply curves. The impact of these shifts can be summarized as follows. An increase in aggregate demand raises real GDP, lowers the unemployment rate, and increases the aggregate level of prices. A decrease in aggregate demand lowers real GDP, increases the unemployment rate, and decreases the aggregate level of prices. An increase in aggregate supply raises real GDP, lowers the unemployment rate, and lowers the aggregate level of prices. A decrease in aggregate supply lowers real GDP, raises the unemployment, and raises the aggregate level of prices. That's the stagflation. That's the shift in the aggregate supply curve. If both curves shift, the effect is a combination of the above individual effects. And that's the last slide for this LOS. Thank you.